Then how to execute the transaction code here. So each respective area, we have the number of transaction code. Suppose if you take basis has some number of transaction codes, security number of transaction codes. So like that, each area we have the related transaction codes we have here. Each area we have the number of transaction codes we have. So we have to execute it. So here transaction code. Here, what is mean by T code mean transaction code? It is a shortcut to the so related business page here. Shortcut to the related the business page here, right? So we know here the work process are helping to complete our work in the systems here. To complete the work in the systems, the work process are helping here, right? So yesterday we have configured the NWD system, and also we have some other systems also available. So to add the system into the logon pad here, we have to go to the click on the new button, connection. So new connection, and next we have to provide the description of the your SAP system, SAP application server details. So here there are the two connection types here. The group server selection means you are connecting to the message server directly. So application server means you are connecting to the application server. So here the application server details, suppose like application server details, the instance number of the application server, what is the application server name, where it is installed it, that application server details here. These details we have to give it here. Then when you click on the OK button, login button, you will able to log into the SAP application server. Means you will get the SAP application server logon page. SAP application server logon page here. Here we have the in SAP we have the client concept. We need to use the clients either 000 001. So in SAP, normally there is a client concept up to 000 to 999. So this should be client number should be within 000 to 999 range only. So by default, you will get the 000 001 from SAP as part of the installation. These are the master clients. What are the master clients means? If someone asks the question, you need to tell 000 001 are the master clients. It contains the master data. Master clients contains the master data here, right? So then after that, but we cannot run our business in the master
Sir,
clients here.
what about 066?
0.6 is not there. That is deleted from the SAP. It's not there. There is no client. That's why I'm not explaining about the 0.66. That is the
Okay.
old installations, years back installation. So previously we have the 0.66 client also, which will come by default client. That is for the EWA, early watch analysis related session. But this is, they have deprecated. There is no 0.66 client nowadays. Only two clients you will get it out, 000 001 from SAP. After that, we can create our own client, 100, 200, whatever your fancy number. So you can create it here, whatever the fancy number, you can create your own client here. That is the fancy number we can create, which means, so in this custom client only, we have to do the our business. We have to log in, we have to create the configurations, we have to do the other transactions, data saving and everything. We have to do that one. So that is a different topic. Okay. But for now, we can log into till that topic time. We log into the either 000 001, either DDIC, or we have one more user. We created the basis user. You can use any user and password. We can log into the SAP system. You can log into the SAP system here, right? So you got the SAP home screen. This is the SAP home screen here. So here you see this is the transaction code box. This is the box here. You need to enter the transaction code here. This normally we will call it as the OK code box. OK code box. So here we need to enter the transaction codes here. SAP is the transaction code based concept, which means each and every time we need to execute the transaction code, then the related application related page will be opened. There we need to do the respective configurations and so checking, monitoring this related things we have to perform it in the SAP here, right? Suppose if you see the some other applications, suppose if you see the, so suppose like Google also one of the a browser application. So here we have the tabs based concept. Tabs are available, downloads history. So by using these tabs, we can do the administration part of the Google browser. So suppose if you see the no, logon pad, by using the tabs, so options we can use the log administration. But if you see the our Zoom also we have the meeting place, we have the tabs based concept here. We have the tabs. So using this one, we can do the all the administration activities and everything here, right? That is called the OK code box here. So 000, 001 are the master clients here. So 000 to 999 we have the OK code box here we have, right? So that is the one thing here, OK code box. So this is the place here we need to enter the transaction codes and everything here. As soon as installation is completed, once you log into the SAP system here, the first one thing is like here we have to execute the, we need to check the consistency check. So to check the whether installation is successfully installed or successfully completed or not, to check the consistency check here, we need to execute the SICK SM28 are the transaction codes, or SM28. SM28 are the transaction code to check the consistency check. Consistency check here. SICK or SM28 are the transaction codes here. Using these two transaction codes, so we can find out whether our system is okay or not. Any errors, we need to check it out here. Okay. So in the SAP, when you install the SAP, so what are the process will be created?
Dialog.
DVM.
DVB.
Okay. So in this here, apart from that here, so we have the dispatcher also available in the each application server, right? Where the dispatcher is sitting, where the dispatcher will be running application server level, right? In the primary application server level. So what are the process will be running on the ASCS instance?
Message server and queue server.
And key server. Okay, right? Remaining all the process in the blindly we can say message server and queue server in the ASCS instance. Remaining process will be in the your application server instance here, right? So here the first work process is the dispatcher here. Dispatcher. So dispatcher is responsible for dispatcher. Sir, what is the use of the dispatcher? So in the name itself, there is a meaning actually. Dispatching, dispatcher, dispatching the request, right? Dispatcher, dispatching the request to available dialog work process. So dispatcher will take the, so the advantages of the request is here. Dispatcher will take the request from so SAP GUI users. So then forward to available dialog work process here, right? And also dispatcher maintain the request in FIFO order, first in first out order. There is no like reservation or something. Whoever log into the SAP, so first dispatcher will take that request, will maintain in first out order, will forward that request to the available dialog work process, here. So in case of if the dispatcher is down or not available, so you cannot even log into, you cannot able to get the SAP screen here. Suppose if you click it, dispatcher taken, will hand over to the SAP screen here, right? Even dispatcher is down here, even you cannot log into the SAP system here. See, connecting to the NWD, so which means it's trying to connect it, then system is down, you see, so our system is not reachable here. So let's see what happens to the our dispatcher here, our SAP application server here, right? So where it is installed, let's go to the here. I think that application server instance. So where is that? Why it is not accessible? So maybe okay, 121. So 121. Let me log into the 192.168.0.121. The where our application server host. So just IP got changed, I think here. See, dispatcher is okay. Because of the IP, so it's unable to connect it here. Because of the IP, it is unable to connect it. So that is fine. So it's a IP changed here. What I will do here in the so here 121, 129 is there. So wrong IP maintained here. So now it will connect it here. Also, yeah, I will change it in the router side that I will change it. Okay. Now it will connect. You can see this won't connect. So that's fine. Okay. So dispatcher will maintain the request in the FIFO order, first in, first out. Now, if you log into the here, so it will connect it. It will connect it and it will open it here. So which means, so system, we are able to connect to the system here, right? So we are able to connect to the system here. So in case of, if you are facing any issues here, which means, so system unable to contact, which means either dispatcher is down or dispatcher is down, connection is not reachable here. So that may be the issue here. That may be the issue. So here dispatcher will take the request from the browser. So sorry, SAP GUI logon pad. Then whenever you open the SAP, whenever you click on it, dispatcher will assign to the available work process here, like this here, right? So dispatcher will maintain the request in FIFO order, first in, first out. FIFO means first in, first out order, then hand over the your request to the available. So that is only work it will do the dispatcher here. Dispatcher, we don't have any transaction codes here. Dispatcher, we don't have any transaction codes here. So now dispatcher only, it will take the request from the SAP GUI logon pad and will give it to the available dialog work process, right? Here dialog work process, so will process the request, will process the user request. We are logging to the SAP system means that is the one request, one user request. Will process the request, will process the user request, will process the user, whatever the user. Suppose, so when you log into the irctc.com, then so here dialog work process will take care of your request after the login. Then in the back end, so your dialog work process, so you will do the transaction, ticket booking, something like that. So all the work until you log out from the IRCTC, then one dialog work process is attached to the yourself here. So dialog work process is responsible for processing the user request, processing the request here, user request here, right? So when you log off, the dialog work process become free here. So one work process, so will handle the, means dialog work process will handle the user request here, right? So where can we see the work process status and everything here, right? Suppose where can we see the all the work process, and is there any status of the work process and everything, means all the work process we can see the status in the SM50 and SM66 are the transaction code for the so dialog work process here. SM50 is the transaction code to check the local work process overview. To check the local work process overview here. Local means the single application server, how many work process are there. So DB, BMJS, what is the status of that one? We can see it here. If we go to the SM50, here we can see the work process status and everything here. The work process status and everything, we can see it here. So we have, so dialogues are 2 currently, backgrounds are 6, update is 1. So we have the work process status is available here. Here you can see the work process status here. So dialogues are waiting status. So means all the work process status, there is a status here, right? So not only dialogue, other work process also we have the status here. The status of the work process is here. So waiting and running. Running means which I logged in with the user. 001 client basis user I logged in. So my user request is running here. My user request is running. Something I am executing here. Something I am executing here. That is the user request here, right? So SM50 is the transaction code to check the work process overview. To check the work process and overview, that the dialog work process overview and everything is responsible by SM50 transaction code here, right? SM50 is the transaction code to check the work process status. Sir, I can only see the 2 status here. Is it only 2 status here? No, we have the multiple status of the work process are available here. Multiple status of the work process are available here. So one is the so waiting status. One is the waiting status here. Waiting status, waiting, running, sleep, okay, stop, so error, so error status, sometimes so hold status, sometimes private mode. These are the status of the work process here, right? So there is a stop, then immediately it will go to the error. So it will go to the hold status here. Hold means the work process is waiting for the other procedures to complete it here. Then preview mode means the private mode here. The private mode means here the work process here, the private mode here, the work process is running out of the memory, here. The work process is running out of the memory here. That is called the private mode here. That is called the private mode. So here waiting means work process are free. Waiting status, waiting for to process the user request, waiting for to pick up the user request and everything here. So if the work process are waiting status means that related work process is free. Free means so the work process is free, then easily it will take the user request. Suppose if you are unable to log into the SAP system means the work process is not free, means your dialog work process is not free, then it won't handle the user request and everything here, right? So suppose example tomorrow when you join the organization, sometimes you may get the request saying that users are unable to log into the SAP system. So what could be the possible reasons? That is one of the compulsory question. So in that case, so what kind of answers you give now, right? Based upon our conversation now, so what could be the possible reason? So users are unable to log into the SAP system.
Dialog work process is full.
Not free.
Dispatcher. We
Yeah,
need to
not
check
free.
dispatcher.
Yeah. So dialog work process are not waiting status, are not free status simply. So if all the dialog work process are not free, then definitely user cannot log in. So what is the relation between user login and dialog work process here?
So dispatcher will alert work process, dialog work process to the each person who is logging in.
Okay. So, but what is the why the dialog work process are required here? The dispatcher will take the request, right? But what is the use of the dialog work process here? What is the importance of the dialog work process here?
So like whatever their transaction which they are executing, that will taken care by like
Dialog
work process dialog.
Exactly correct. Okay. This kind of cross questions you may get it out sometimes. So in that case, you have to strongly, without any doubt, you have to say here dialog work process is the first work process. It will take the user request and process the user request here. Take the user request from the dispatcher and process the user request. So here, if you don't have the dialog work process, then who will process the request? Why? Because here dialog will do the dialog related activities. Update, if you ask update to perform the dialog related activities, it won't take care. Only dialog related activities will be performed by the dialog work process, not the other work process. So if the dialog is dead or dialog is stopped, or dialog is something hold, or it's not in the waiting status, first of all, then you cannot even log into the SAP system. You will keep on getting like connecting, then you will not able to get the browser screen or something like that here. So which means dialog work processor not free here. So SM50, we can see the work process status here. Also, SM66 also is there. This is only for the SM50 one application server related work process we can see. So as we discussed, SAP we can also install the additional application servers also. This is the presentation layer. This is the application layer. This is the database layer here. We can also install the SAP in the, so we have the, suppose like example, additional application servers also we can install it using the SWPM tool. Using the SWPM tool, we can install the additional application servers also. Means each application server, we have the dispatcher and remaining processor available here. Dispatcher and remaining processor available here. Then dispatcher, then remaining processor available here. So which means here dispatcher and remaining work processor available here. So which means here, so multiple application servers means more than one application server, we will call it as the multiple application servers also will handle the user node. Sir, one application server we have some limited memory and CPUs are available, suppose 10 dialogues, so only can handle. But every day your business is growing, it's a public sector, one of the ticketing company, ticketing tool business, so means IRCTC or something business here. So this is a public, means every user will log in and will do it. The user load is very more. Then in this case, how the one application server will handle the load, right? Then we can install the more number of application servers also, means so one SID, n number of application servers we can add it here. Sir, one application servers means we can go to SM50, we can see the one application server status. I have the 10 application servers, then how can I know the status of the work process overview? I have the more than one is there. One is, then I can go to the only one application server work process information I can see in the SM50. Then I need to go, I have to check all the application server status in the one single screen, one single transaction code. I want to see all the work process. You have the 10 application servers, 10 application server related work process information. I want to check it out. Then here SM66 is the transaction code. Here we can check the system wide entire all the instances. You can see the work process of all the instances we can see in the one screen. If you have one more application server, then remaining will be displayed here. Like that, all the application. If one is there, only one will be displayed here. If two are there, then one more application server related information. So we have one class here. There we can discuss about how to install the additional application servers as well. How to install the additional application servers, we can install it. That is also, we have the class. That time, when you install the new application server, that time there is that application server related work process also will come to in this screen here, right? So for now, SM50, SM66 is for, SM50 is like a local one application server related. So which means the work process of the, so KPONLINE1 NW100, this instance number related application. When you go to the SM66, it's all, not only 00, we can also install the one more instance number, one more application server 01, 02, 03. That related information we can find out in that application server here, right? Work process status of all the work process and everything here, right? So that is the main thing of the work process information, right? SM66 here, SM66, you can find out all the work process related information and everything here. Okay, this is the dialog related information. SM50, SM66 are the transaction codes here, right? SM60, SM50, SM66 are the dialog related transaction codes here, right? So if someone asks you what is the status of the work process, means we have the multiple status. The first one, waiting, running, sleep, stop, Error means something. Error status here. Sleep means work process in the sleep mode sometimes. When the work process in the, it's the same as like a work process or like a family members. Sometimes we will be free. Sometimes we are in the running status means busy. Sometimes we will go to the sleep mode. When we are in the sleep mode, you cannot answer anything. Sometimes we will go sick status means stop and error status. Then hold. Sometimes we will wait for others to finish your work here. Sometimes we will be in the so out of the memory, out of the we don't have any energy in our home. Then we don't have out of the energy. So like that. So we have the some status. How we have the status? Same way we have the work process. Also we have the statuses, right? Waiting. So free. Okay, then you will get the work process will process the request here. So this is the dialog work process related functionality. Dialog is responsible to only one word you need to remember, one sentence. Dialog is responsible for process the take the user request and process the user request. Simply process the user request here. Who will give the who will hand over the request to the dialog? Dispatcher, right? Dispatcher will take and will hand over the request to the dialog work process, which is the work process will directly interact with the user. Which is the work process? The first it will interact with the user. Dialog work process. Okay, dialog. So suppose users are unable to log in, so something is not working means first we need to check the dialog status. What is the status of the dialog? At least one work process should be free to log into the application server SAP level. If one is not free, then we cannot log in here, right? That is the dialog work process here. The next one is like a update request here, dialog and update here. DB, the DB, we have the D and we have the V for update. Normally U, but people we will call it as the update from long back here. Update. Why? Because in the update we have the V1, V2 updates only. It's update request here, right? So update. What is mean by update here? So I logged into the redbus.com. I booked the Windows 8. Then I booked the Windows seat here. I done the payment. Then I got the ticket. But who will update the transactions into the DB table level? It should be update table level, right? Then who will update the database level? Update work process. So which means, so technically, if I talk about the update work process is responsible to process the records, updated records into the database level. Update work process will process the update records into table level. It will process it here. That is the update work process here. Update work process here, right? It will process the request into update level, right? Here, transaction means the user will log into the dialog mode with the dialog work process. Then he booked the one ticket or he done the one transaction or he done the some changes in the SAP level. So then after that, the updates that record the changes, who will do the changes into, who will update those changes into the table level, database level means. So your update work process, the update work process is responsible. They are the, so SM13, SM14, we can see it here, SM13, we can check status of update records. Any field update records are happening or not, we can check it out. Then here we can check the status of the update here. If the update work process is down, so stopped or started status, we can see it here, right? If the update is down, then user cannot save any transaction here, right? If the update is active, then user, if they done the transaction, immediately the transaction will be updated into the DB table level here. Suppose if you see here SM13, right? So go to the SM13 here, update request, check are there any cancelled updates or anything. Just remove the dates here, just check the execute here. You see there are the lot of updates are failed here. These all are the failed update records. So there are the multiple clients, multiple users, they have failed at different time intervals. So they done something that records are not getting updated into the DB table level due to the some mismatch. Some mismatch is happened here, some number range buffer, something is happened. It's not updated here, right? So it's not updated. Normally we need to progress, reprocess all these updates. If any update records are processed, so we need to reprocess all those entries. Even though it's not reprocessing, then functional team will investigate it. Otherwise, we can also delete all the failed update records. We can delete it here in case it is not required. The related transaction already updated, it's a duplicate. Then we can delete it here. In case of it is deleted, we can delete it here. That is the update records here, right? If you go to the SM14, we go to the SM14 here. So here we can check whether update is active or not, right? So see here, update is active here. So if the update is deactivated, I have deactivated the update here, right? I have deactivated the update here. Then if I do something here, that will not be saved. Suppose example, you see, I will go to one of the transaction code. I will create the one of the user name. Suppose like example, by using one user, I'm trying to create it here. Okay, just okay, just you don't need to do that one. Why? Because this is the upcoming topic only, user management. Just I'm trying to save it now. Okay, my changes will be saved into it, will be saved into the database level. Then you will get the success message, but it won't save it. Why? Because it won't save. Then it keep on browsing, it keep on loading only. So why? Because you see update is delayed, waiting status here, which means you have cancelled the update records here. You have cancelled the update here. You have cancelled the update records here. Then because of this reason, here, if you see here, update SM13 now here, you just click on the OK button here, there is a one entry got stuck here, which means it is not processing. Some up to some conditions it got processed, updating the user authorities and everything, it is not processing V1 and V2. So it's not processing here. So one user, basis user, with today at 96 at SU01 transaction code is trying to process something here. He is trying to update something. It is not processing because of update got stuck here. Update got stuck here. You can see this update request got stuck here. It's not processing here, right?
Here it is showing processed, sir.
V1, there is a some V1, V2, two updates are there. So up to some records are processed. The main thing is not processing here because of, so something got update got deactivated here. Update got deactivated here. Only one update got deactivated here. So it's not processing. If you wait for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, so your request will be stuck only here. Your request will be stuck. See, update delayed, waiting status, which means your transaction is not happening. You have done the payment. So you done the payment. So then actually you should get the successful message. Then you should get the ticket. Then payment you done it. It's keep on loading. You see, keep on loading here, which means backend your update is not getting activated. So now what I will do immediately, if I just click on the activate the update here, then go to here and see the status here. Now update. Now your records will be saved into the record will be saved here, right? See here, your records got saved here, right? Then immediately when you refresh the button here, this will be 0. That is got processed here, right? That is got processed here. Here, which means update. If you go to the SM50, you can see, go to the SM50 within the same transaction code. You can go to the another transaction code also, but you need to enter the /n SM50. If you go to the here, you can see here, we can see the updates. There are the two updates actually. Actually, one is here and second one is here. V1 update, V2 update here. V1 means, so update is very crucial part for in the SAP. So if the update is down, that's why SAP given the two updates here. This is the update 1, V1. This is the update 2, V2 tasks. V1 means critical. Critical things will process. Only critical requests will be processed by the V1. V2 means medium priority, low priority request will be processed by the V2. Sir, how the update request knows this is a critical or medium priority means update knows as per the coding. Update knows how to process the each and every request. Basically, these two updates will process the user request based upon the priorities here. Based on the priority, these two will process the user request and everything here. Okay, that is the main thing of the update work process here. Update will process the user request and everything here. Okay, update is active now. So in case of update is deactivated, so update is deactivated here, you cannot process anything here, right? That is the main thing of the update request, update records here, right? So now if you go to SM13 and see if any failed update records, nothing. As part of the daily monitoring, we will go and we will see the in the last 24 hours, are there any failed update records in the system or not? We will see it here. So if no failed update records, then we are good. If something is failed, something is found, then the user records are not getting updated. Then we need to select and repeat the update. Even though it is failing, then you need to inform to the respective functional team to process the failed ones, and they will take care of that everything here. Why? Because they are the responsible for the data. We are the technical team only. In case of server side issue, so something like update is deactivated, something that we have to check in the SM14, we can check the status of the update records and everything here. Okay, fine. So in some no issues with the update is active. So here also updates are free here. So here 2 are there, 3 are there. So updates are free here. Here also one update is there. So everything is fine, good here, right? So now everything is good. So then we are good now. We are in the good shape. So nothing from our side, maybe some data fault. Sometimes what happens during the data fault also. So data fault means functional or developers, they will take care of the request here, data fault related issues here. Okay, they will take care of. So here for today, we discussed about the update and dialog work process here. Dialog related transaction codes are the SM50, SM66 here. Update related SM13, SM14 are the transaction codes here, right? So now you understand your login to the SAP system means basically here dispatcher taken your request will hand over to the dialog work process. Dialog work process processing your transaction codes and your request and everything here. So normally we are executing this here, but when you go to the functional people and some other teams, they will not execute this transaction code. They won't get the access. Why? Because they will only do the business scenarios creation, business process creation, everything, data related things. They will take care of that one here, right? It's their responsibility, not our responsibilities here. Okay, that is the main thing of the update work process here. Okay, SM50, SM66 are the transaction codes here. Okay, so just please practice these 4 transaction codes. So then tomorrow we'll discuss about the NQ and background. Here, out of the 7 work process, background work process is somewhat important here. Background jobs we will process. The background job will process the monthly payrolls. So automation kind of some of the functionalities, some of the operations will be performed, the background jobs. So that is important. And dialog work process is very important here. Normally, we won't face anything here in the update. Only worst case scenario, we may face the issues. Update will be deactivated due to the system load or something. So update will be deactivated. So as part of the monitoring, we need to check. Oh, as part of our daily monitoring, so update is deactivated, you need to activate it.
Sir, if update it's in error status or like cancel status, should we ask functional team to
Right.
repeat it, or should we
We can check it
do
out. If they ask us to repeat it, we can repeat it. Then no, don't repeat it. We have to delete some record, something from SAP side, their side. Then they will take care of that part here. So user, one of the HR, suppose like it's a HR system, one of the new joinees are joined, 20 new members are joined. They are updating their systems with their employee numbers, code, personal bank details, everything they are updating. So they are updating, that's fine. But when they are updating bulk requests, sometimes due to some issues, some records will not be saved into the database level. They will try after some time. Then, so already the data got updated. But again, you are reprocessing, it's a duplicate records, right? So to avoid this consistency, they will cross check, okay, this data already there. No, we can delete this update means we can go ahead, simply SM13, we can delete it.
after confirm with them, like, we can delete,
Right,
right?
yeah, we can delete it. It's our user. the technical user basis or DDIC or technical users, so we can take our own actions here. Here business users, so then we have to take the confirmation from the business only here. Why? Because it's a business transaction. He done the payment. The payment got stuck in the SAP level itself. It's not processed at the database level. When the payment got successfully processed to the database level, table level, then only we can say transaction is successfully completed. But now SAP level it got stuck. User also did not get the any confirmation in the screen. Is the transaction is processed, the payment is progressing, something like that, right? So user also did not get due to some issues. So he is trying to book the ticket. So ticket is not ticket payment is done. When he's getting the payment is done, but when he's going to get the confirmation of the ticket, he's not getting due to some issues. So there are multiple use cases. So due to the issue, then when we reprocess the failed one, then again after that, after some time, so he may get the ticket to his email ID, something like that. So one of
So if Dialog work process, if 2 to 3 or like some a few Dialog work process goes on preview mode, so should we check with the user and cancel?
we can run with what the user is running, what program is running. Normally, if any something, sometimes what happens, someone they will run the reports, monthly reports, payroll reports. The reports they will run it in the dialog mode. When they are running in the dialog mode front end, so that will create some problem here. Why? Because memory issues. Then we can ask them to run it in the background mode by the background work process. So that time the background work process will come into the picture.
Yeah, so if only 2 to 3 Dialog process are in preview mode, so it won't be harmful for system, right? Like if you have multiple.
Multiple, then only it will be create the problem. So one or two, it's not a problem actually.
So what is the difference between ICM and web dispatcher?
ICM will handle the web-based request. Dispatcher will take the request from the SAP logon pad which is installed on
No, like web dispatcher I'm asking, like web dispatcher and ICM. So we have
web dispatcher, the new guys, just ignore this word web dispatcher that I will come to you. So to answer, web dispatcher is perform the load balancing. The requests which are coming from the browser, the web dispatcher will perform the load balancing, then will hand over the request to the available application servers. In the application server, we have the ICM, Internet Communication and Manager, will take that request, will process the request here. Web dispatcher is the outside of the SAP process. So that will perform the load balancing activities. So then it will hand over the request to the again SAP only. So then SAP will process the request. When you have the multiple application server, that time web dispatcher will come into the picture. That will distribute the load, that will perform the load balancing, will connect to the related ICMs and everything.
But message server will do the same thing, right? Like,
message server will do the also same thing here. Web dispatcher also will do the same thing here. So there are the multiple use cases here. So web dispatcher, we can put it in the public mode. It dedicatedly it will perform the load balancing also. Then message server also will perform the load balancing also here. But message server will perform the just load balancing of the your SAP logon request and everything here. But here your SAP web dispatcher, it will perform the web-based request, the browser-based request. It will perform the load balancing and everything.
What is the difference between SM50 and SM66?
Oh my God, you are asking. I already explained. Now you are asking the question same. SM50 is the local work process overview. SM66 is the global work process overview. SM50 is the single application server. You have the one application server. In one application server, how many work process are there? What is the status of that work process overview? We can see it here. SM66 is the global. If you have the multiple application servers are there, all the application server related status, we can see it in the SM66.
Sir, from DDIC, you have created the basis user, and after that, you have login from the basis.
Yeah. Why? Because all are using the some of DDIC, right? So some members also you can also use the D basis also. We have the one topic like user management. That time you will come to know how to create the users also. For now, you can use either DDIC or basis user.
So you have used the basic